Hello everyone, this is Erica. Welcome back to the fourth session of our beginner course, which is also the first session about key features. Today, we are going to explore the world of fields. These might seem like small building blocks, but they are the foundation of Jodoo, essential for creating forms and collecting data. By the end of this session, you will understand how to utilize fields effectively. Now let's start. To edit fields, you will need to get into the edit mode of a form. Simply click the edit button on the top. As you can see, on your left are the fields for you. Fields in Jodoo come in various types. Currently, we have 21 fields in total, divided into two categories: basic fields and advanced fields. Basic fields are the bread and butter of form configuration, including single line, multi-line, number, date and time, radio, checkbox, single select, multi-select, member, members, department, departments, and divider. It's not hard to understand what most fields can do with a glance at their names, except for the member, members, department, and departments. These fields are mainly used to record personal information. We can select member and departments from the contacts. To save time on data entry, we usually set initial value for these fields as current user or department. We can save the settings. As we can see, if we set the initial value for these fields as current user or department, when we come to fill up the form, it will automatically pull out the information of the user. Let me show you another example. In the administration system, we have the office supply order form. It is for us to send a request when ordering the supplies. Here we have set the initial value for the member field ordered by as current user. So when we come to fill up the form, it will automatically display my name. One thing to pay attention to is that these fields are only effective for internal users and departments. To be specific, users and departments in your contacts. If you share this form to public, when they open this form without logging in, they will find that these fields are not supported. For example, we can publish this sample form to public. When we open the public link, we will be able to see that these fields are not supported. If you have any specific questions about basic fields, consult the Help Center for detailed guidance. In this session, we will mainly focus on the advanced fields. Let's start with the image and attachment fields. In a reimbursement request, we can upload the screenshot or files of the invoice using the image or attachment field. Keep in mind that the file size limit varies depending on your plan. For instance, a trial account can upload images or files up to 20 MB. Next up is the SubForm field. It is a powerful tool for attaching additional details to a form or inputting multiple records at once for a specific field. Let's see an example. Again, in the office supply order form, this form is for us to send a request when ordering supplies, and in one request, we might need to place multiple orders. So we need a field that can keep multiple order records at a time. In this case, we can add a subform field for the order details. If we need to place more than one order in the request, we can add a subform field for order details. so that we will be able to submit more than one orders at a time. This is a fantastic way to streamline data collection. In the sessions ahead, we will demonstrate the features of Jodoo using other forms from the administration system as examples, but we will not go through the whole system. If you are interested in the administration system or one of the processes included, such as the office supplies management, vehicle management, budget management, or item approval, feel free to install this app from the Template Center to explore. Now, let's go back to check the query data and select data fields. They can call the data from other forms in the current form, and the select data field can even add the called data into the current form. Again, let's take the office supplies order form as an example. When filling out the request, I need Jodoo to automatically pull out the item list and details for me to select from. In this case, I can set the select the item as a select data field. Let's get into the edit mode. First, set the office supplies registration form as the data source so that we can call the item records from the office supplies registration form. Then, open the settings for select data. To make a decision on the items to purchase, we don't need all the information from the registration form. For the fields displayed when selecting, we can select only the needed fields. These fields will be the fields we can see when selecting an item. In this sample form, we didn't set up the filter and sorting rules. If you would like to clean or sort the records from the data source to make it easier to select, add a condition for filtering or sorting out the records. In case the item you are looking for is not on the list, keep the Create Records to Related form ticked, so that you can add new items to the list. The records of the new items will be added to the database of both this form and the source form. Next, we can set rules to add the needed records to fields in the current form. In this way, after selecting an item, the selected field will be filled into the current form, like the item ID field. We can also set up the name and category fields with the data filling rule. But to demo the data linkage feature for you, we have set them up with the data linkage instead. The data linkage is another important feature we will discuss in the next session. To save time on building apps, when building a form on your own, you can choose to set all the needed fields up with the data filling rule. Watch out when choosing an option to handle the selected data. Here, we have two options: display in the form or fill into form fields. It depends on if you would like to add the records to the database of this form. The former option means that the records will be displayed for members when filling out the form, but the records will not be added to the form. You will not find them in the database of the current form. If you want to add the records to this form and handle them in the data management section of this form, choose Fill into Form fields. Eventually, when I fill out the order form, the select data will display all the items pulled from the registration form for me to select from. After I select an item, the select data will fill in the item ID for me, and then the data linkage will fill out the name and category field. This is how Jodoo works to build an automated process. As to the query data field, it is a select data field without the data filling option. It cannot fill the called data into the current form. If the Select the Item field is a query data field, we will have to enter the item ID manually. Let's move on to the next field. The serial number field can be set to generate ID series, like contract IDs or user IDs. We can use that to generate ID series. In the registration form, we have set the item ID as a serial number. Here we have added a string of Jodoo and set up the count as 5 digits. And these are the neatly organized IDs we get. That's all for this session. We have skipped some of the less essential fields. If you are interested in any one of the skipped fields, refer to the documents in our Help Center. Under the fields, we have listed the detailed guides for each field. In the next session, we will look into the detailed settings for the fields. The field properties. Stay tuned. See you in the next session.